Homework is still a bit triggering for me nearly 30 years since my last high school class. When my own kids bring their homework home, I still get grumpy about it. I was helping my oldest with an English assignment the other day, or at least I was trying to. It was a computer program teaching the grammatical concept of something called parallelisms. I'll be honest, I still don't understand it. I kept getting so frustrated with the examples because the examples they were giving seemed to me like there was a gray area that required subjective consideration, and the computer wanted me to answer everything with black and white objectivity. Listen, I'm guessing the computer knew what it was talking about, and there probably was an objective way to understand the concept for the purposes of a 10th grade class. But as an adult, I've become confident that there is a gray area in almost everything in my real life. Right and wrong are rarely real. Complexity is reality. Every week here at Between, we try to offer a little mini sermon like this one, inspired by some ancient wisdom from some sacred text. A lot of times we pull from the Christian Bible and the stories of Jesus because I'm most familiar with those stories. I know this next thing I'm about to say will make some folks uncomfortable, and many people won't agree with me, which is just fine. But while I'm most familiar with the Jesus stories, and I am a Christian, I definitely do not think that the Judeo-Christian tradition, especially the Western iteration of it, has a corner on all the wisdom of the world. I don't believe that my particular version of Christianity is right and everyone else's understanding of faith and spirituality is wrong. Right and wrong are rarely real. Complexity is reality. That said, here's a bit of wisdom from Jesus that can be understood in multiple ways. So in Matthew's gospel, there's an account of Jesus teaching an agricultural parable. He teaches that the kingdom of heaven is like a farmer who planted a bunch of good seeds. And in the middle of the night, some villain shows up and spreads the seeds of weed seeds. After a while, the good seeds and the weed seeds all sprouted. The people who worked for the farmer came and asked if they should go and pull the weeds, but the farmer told them not to do that because doing so could damage the good crops. The farmer said to let them both grow together and it would all get sorted out in the end at harvest time. This parable is a little tricky, in my opinion. It might be teaching that there are good people and bad people, and in the end times or at the pearly gates, they'll all be separated into heaven and hell. A lot of people read it that way. I don't really think that's the point, though. My take is that the story is about the complicated experience of living a human life, that our life is full of weeds and good crops, and if you try to make all the bad stuff go away, you'll ruin all the good stuff. If you try to simplify the experience of living a full, thriving life into good versus bad, you'll end up screwing the whole thing up. Right and wrong are rarely real. Complexity is reality. Let's make this practical. Our current political moment is full of temptations to make complexity simple, and in so doing, screw everything up. For instance, personally, I am fervently on the side of actively defending marginalized folks who are threatened. I will protest and protect the immigrants, the LGBTQ folks, the oppressed and the targeted. And I will fervently advocate for us all to talk with each other, to not settle for the sound bites and memes and oversimplifications of this side versus that side, to honor the sacredness of our togetherness. Building a bigger wall between us will not heal our open societal wounds. Right and wrong are rarely real. Complexity is reality. Do not fall for the temptation of oversimplification. Do not be trapped by the right and wrong binary. Right and wrong are rarely real. Complexity is reality. Here's a short blessing. God of the gray areas, God of the murky middle where the truth dwells, God, help us find comfort in the uncomfortable complexity of your world. Help us see each other not as objective ones and zeros with values as simple as good and bad. Help us know that right and wrong are rarely real. You've taught us this lesson with every aspect of nature, including human nature, and so we ask you to remind us often of this important lesson. Amen. Hey, Between is about you. Take this message into your life this week and fill the space between you and every person you encounter with your sacred light. My favorite church is the space between people. Now go with God's love and create the church between.